Good morning. I appreciate you being here. Really want to just start by saying thanks to the fans, Director Cromer, Amy Dean. Special day Saturday with Senior Day, Frank Solich Day, honoring him for the College Football Hall of Fame. And obviously with us finishing it off with the win was very powerful and happy for our fans, and I want to thank everyone. Moving on to Kent State, our next opponent. We're on the road. It has been a very good matchup. If you just look at the numbers, particularly playing at third place, I think my data says we're 3-2 in the last 5 matchups. Playing at Kent, just talking with the last time we were up there in 22 was overtime loss. We had an 18 was a 1-point victory. 27-26, 16 was a 14-10 game, and 2014 was a 17-14 walk-off field goal. It's been some really good games against Kent, which is great for our league, and that's what we are preparing for at this time. We've taken full advantage of some time off. I'm sure I'll get some questions on injuries, and I'll tell you what I know, but the guys are actually off today doing community service out in the community, and coming off, we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So today's Friday, and then we'll get back at it this weekend. But staff's out doing some recruiting today, having the 11-day window going to action. We're very excited and looking forward to the matchup. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Looking at Kent State, this year objectively has kind of just been a disaster for them. As you kind of mentioned there, just a couple of years ago, you guys went to the MAC championship. They beat you. They had a lot of high prize transfers kind of leave the program and all that. So do you credit kind of what's going on this year to the turnover in that program the past couple of years, or just what do you think?
It's a fair question, and I knew I'd get one along those lines to I'm going to repeat kind of what talking about Coach Martin in Miami. Their non-conference schedule. They have played an undefeated Penn State team, an undefeated Pittsburgh team, and a 1-loss Tennessee team. I believe the combined records are 20-1. All right. So the data, the stats says they give this up. They give this many yards and all those things. You can throw it out the window. It is really. I know Kenny. He's a good guy. He's a good ball coach. The Penn State game, they lost both quarterbacks, first and second team quarterbacks for the season at the Penn State game. All right, and he takes on that schedule. So I tip my hat to him. All right, so you gotta be careful and when if I answer that question, I mean they've gone through a lot. All right, and so you'd have to ask Kenny that, and what they've gone through. But you don't play that schedule, and have the injuries they've had, and have success. That's just, I don't know how to say it other than that. And it's a tough deal. You watch the film though, and his kids haven't quit. They play hard. Those two receivers, 0 and 2. The best we've seen since South Alabama, or maybe Syracuse. They're really talented, and so I know that they only returned 2 guys on defense, and I think 3 of their top 5 in the O line. So they've lost some guys to the portal, as we have. They've had to replenish their roster with some transfer guys, as we have, and so we've gone through some things that they've gone through, with the exception of the grueling schedule they played.
And then looking at you guys specifically, you've mentioned this year as being a bunch of firsts for a majority of the team, whether first travel, first Miami game, first midweek contest for a lot of the guys in the program. How do you think the team's just been adjusting to that?
I just they got to come to work. We got to prepare the right way, and we can take care of our business. This is what we do on Monday. This is what we do on Tuesday. And we are a one game at a time outfit. Blue collar overachievers, and I'm relying on the staff to keep pushing these guys. We've got a high ceiling, and they have to understand the rival with Miami. And then senior day, like you said, I really appreciate you asking it about this is the first time. Well, this will be the first time to play at Kent, and that's why I pointed out the last 4 times up there. It's it's 1 point, 3 point, 3 point, and an overtime loss. I mean, that's what it is, and so we're going to have to be ready. It's a business trip, all right, and so let's prepare the right way, and let's go take care of business the best way that we can.
Coach Marty Bannister, Ohio Radio. You talked about Kent and the non-conference, but you look at their MAC numbers. They're scoring points.
Yep.
They're playing people
They are.
a little tougher. Is that a better indication of who they
Yeah,
are?
absolutely. I think and I pointed that out when we were playing Miami. You look at their max stats, that is correct. They are scoring points. I mean, the Ball State game was down to the last play of the game. I mean, they've been in basically every game, with the exception of one. And so I know that it's going to be down to the wire, and we're going to have to play our best ball. I truly believe that. I mean, they gave us problems last year, so and we're at third place. So we're going to have to be ready. I mean, you look at, Eastern Michigan at Akron. I mean, I can go down the list. I mean, that's why Maction is great, right? I mean, it's going to be a matchup. It's going to be great for TV. When you go on the road in our league, you can throw the records out, particularly on a weeknight, and you better have your A game.
Is it a concern that you played you said it in a postgame,
Yeah.
you played your best 60 minutes.
Up to that point, up to this point.
Right up to this point, and now you get 11 days between
Yep.
games. Have you addressed that, or is that a concern for you?
I'm not concerned about it. I stand by what I said because it's the truth. You watch the film and it will tell you that. All right, but we still have a higher ceiling, and this coaching staff is going to continue to push these guys, and demand that we make improvements. So.
Coach Andrew, with WUB, obviously, the record for Kent is not what they would want, but what's the key for you guys for the next couple of days of practice to keep up the mindset, that tense mindset, to not have a letdown performance against them?
I think you got to rely on your older guys that have been here, and that have played up there. We have a handful of guys that have played up there. I just think that, we got to lean on the Central Michigan experience. We got to lean on that. We got to lean on the Miami experience. We've had 2 road games in our league, all right, and they understand the strain, and what it takes to go on the road. And it's a close game at Central. Now Miami got after us fair and square, but they've felt those double teams. They've been in that environment. They've been behind the student section. And so we're gonna have to rely on those 2 experiences to help us to get through this Kent game.
Grant Kiefer, WUB. We're getting into the last month of the season here, coming off dominating win, 3-1 in conference. Now, are you guys kind of embracing the fact that as you get into this midweek play, you're going to have a target on your back, you're going to start being a team that other teams look to as, hey, let's beat them, it's a top dog in the MAC?
I think that's fair. I've been here a long time, and we've had a bullseye on our chest for many seasons. And I just say, hey, okay, we have a bullseye on our chest. Let's keep that target moving. It's harder to hit a moving target, so let's keep working. It's kind of my thought process on that. And our guys are certainly hearing that. But again, I'm repeating myself. It's a 1 game at a time outfit, and our goal is to play our best on the road at another conference game.
We kind of ask this question every year when this time of the year comes along, but midweek,
Yeah.
ESPNU game, national spotlight, more of a national spotlight. Just what does this mean for the program and the sort of branding it can get?
I think it's great. The branding for the guys, the national exposure. I love to always bring up. We played last year at Buffalo on a Tuesday. I had some the guys I've met over my time here. They had watched the game in Dubai. They're in Dubai watching the game. I mean, it's all over the world. It's the only game on Tuesday and Wednesday. Every restaurant, sports bar in the country's got the game on. And that's got to be a good thing. The games are competitive, and it's great for we're great for our conference, and I just think it helps the student athlete with NIL and their brand. Absolutely.
You talked about injuries earlier. Let's
Yeah.
kind of go down that road right now. Trey, offensive
Trey will probably, maybe at best be a game time decision at best. Denny's not ready, but yeah, Denny's not ready. Carson got through this last game, and played well, so we're excited about that. And I'm trying to think. Tony Mathis went down with an injury in the second half, and he's at the doctor as we speak.
What did it tell you about the running back room, the way all those guys stepped up? I mean, Ricky Hunt, he came in as your starter, takes a back seat, and responds with a huge game on Sunday.
Again, it just speaks to who he is as a person. He's a strong man of faith and really, really good teammate. He's worked hard. It's been frustrating for him as I've been in front of you and talked about how that transpired, but he's been a great teammate. I'm happy for him. And again, pat myself on the back here. I've talked about the depth of the running back room. You're going to see them all. You saw Nolan. You're going to continue to see Nolan. I think this is probably the healthiest Nolan's been in a while. He had some soft tissue things, but he's running hard. He looks powerful to me, And again, I'm going to say this: Duncan Brune. He's practiced as well. He's a little bruised up, but he's very capable. So it's a deep room, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting all those guys back at some point in time, and then trying to get in Brian's ear about getting maybe some two-back stuff. they're talented.
Coach, is Blake Leak still playing at full health? I know the last against Buffalo, he didn't seem to have so much of an impact.
Yeah, lower body, soft tissue, nothing serious. I anticipate him being full go. It's a good question. I should have mentioned Blake, because I know that he didn't play the second half, but he should be fine.
Any timetable on Austin Brawley by chance?
No, he's still dealing with a personal issue. Nothing's changed in that area.
Over the final month of the season, you guys don't leave the state of Ohio for the rest of that time. Do you think that is anything that could help? I mean, you're still on the road 2 of those games, but do you think the lack of having to go that far can help?
I know it certainly will when they have to go to class on Thursday, because I guarantee you their butt's going to be in class, and it'll be a late night. I hadn't thought about that. I just know we have two away and two at home, and the next one's at Kent, and so they're going to be in class on Thursday morning, but it will be a little bit shorter bus ride, so they'll get a little bit more sleep, which is very beneficial.
And then, Coach, with the Max Saints talking about being 3-1 at the top of the league, just knowing that you said anyone can beat anyone, how do you feel about your chances of potentially still getting that Max?
Yeah, it's way too early for any of that stuff. That's for you guys, and dive into it and say what you want on it. There's so much work to do with our league. I stand by everything I said. It won't surprise me if there's a team with 2 losses in there, because it's top to bottom. I think it's probably the most competitive the league's been, and typically my 20 years will say teams that return their quarterback have the best chance. That's how it goes. And we both know who returns quarterbacks in the league, and then you got to defend home turf. You got to find a way to grind some wins out on the road. You got to do that. Someone brought up November. Maybe you remembered, but for the games in November, and that's where we're at. And we use that phrase to our guys when they're lifting. They're doing the lifting in September and October during the season. We want a strong team in November. We want to be remembered for our games in November. And we're here.
One win away from bowl eligibility. Like you say, you don't want to celebrate before you cross the finish line. There's still a lot of work left to do, but it would be 3rd straight bowl appearance, 3 in your 4 years as head coach. What's that a testament at?
I didn't even realize it. Our focus is on Kent State.
What do you see defensively out of them?
They don't return a lot of experience. I know that, and I mentioned the numbers because of who they played. But they base out of a 4 down. They gave us problems last year early. We got a couple things behind them. New defensive coordinator. They play hard. They've got some unique pressures that we haven't seen a lot of this year. As with any game plan, the quarterback's going to have a good day, and you better not have turnovers. But they've given up some big runs. I'm just going to say it. But it was Penn State. But there's some teams that have popped some big runs. And again, there's back to their schedule piece of this. We're game planning like we normally would against them, but there's some unknowns because of only returning 2 guys, and there's some transfers in there, but you got the film. There's been some shuffling, probably on their defense with some injuries. That's my take on it.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.